Hi, episode 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, episode. Okay, so Espanol, if you need it, please type it in and we're gonna make sure we I'm gonna put that to the side. Okay, so episode 6, you ready? Let's go. This is my real life according to me, and we have to keep going because we're in the episode of where I'm going to the Church of Christ, and you had to see episode 5 to know where we're at right now with episode 6. Okay, so let's go. So remember, I need to pay tithes, and then if I will only pay tithes, I will get pregnant, and me and my husband would have a baby. Okay, then you remember the tall lady, and then the laid back guy, and then they're gonna get married any day. So let's say they got married today, and then remember the white chick and the curly hair guy and Eduardo. They just got married. Okay, and then it's them, and then it's us. And I think that's everyone. And then if I miss someone, I'll bring it back in. Okay, so let's go. So remember, like if only we will pay tithes, then I will get pregnant. So as time goes on, I laugh and like I don't drink Kool-Aid and all this other good stuff. Okay, let's go. So we're in the apartment and I'm working as the CNA and everything is good. I'm still going to church, and let's say that was Tuesday. Let's say this Wednesday. It really is this quick. It's just going. Okay, so let's say this is Wednesday. So I went to work and and I kind of let Kenny know what happened, and it was still kind of strange, but okay, anywho, let's go. And I'm not putting the church down, but I'm still being me. And okay, I'm drinking my alcohol. Yes. Okay. Yeah. 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 I'm a little turned. I am. I will give that. I will say that. Okay, so we're living at the apartment complex, and Kenny is not going to church, but now he sees the opportunity because I'm coming at him like, why you ain't going to church? Or I'm coming at him like, you need to do this, or I'm coming at him, however it is. I really don't remember because I was drinking a lot, but my intentions was good. I don't know what I was saying at the time. I don't even think if he don't know either, but okay, that's beside the point. My intentions were good. They were really good. My intentions was like, let's do better, let's good, but I was drinking a lot. Okay, but still, if we gave our word, me or Kenny, this was so good. We would do what we say, okay? So we're living Long Beach. I can walk to work to Long Beach community if I had to. And he's working at RTA. He's not really going to church, but he knows my belief and what I'm trying to say and display. And now he about to use it against me. He tried to get smart. And it pissed me off because this is really what he did. Okay. And I only realized this looking back. So recap real quick. So I'm going to church. I'm not requiring him to go woo to woo to woo, but I'm telling him my belief. And if you were only taught, but I wouldn't tell him because I told him that it make no sense, but I still would share these things with him. But we really loved each other. We would go through these things. Okay, so let's catch up. You ready? He about to turn it on. He trying to be smart now. So all that happened, and we're living. in Long Beach at the apartment. I'm working at Long Beach Community Hospital CNA. I'm thriving. I'm doing good. Everything's good. Kenny has the job. He's RTA. Yeah, he doing good, and we thriving and we got our apartment and it's all cool. And the people that rented the place to us, they're like uh, um, E- Arabic, but the strange thing was, I want to say she was Arabic. I could be wrong, but I do remember quite clearly she breastfed that boy. He was 5 and a half. You remember when Martin Lawrence, he said, how long you breastfeeding? And he's like, oh, that's incest. I seen it in person. It was like he was 5 and a half, and then you'll go down to pay rent, and she's sitting there, maybe wearing something like this, and it's like bam, and he'll be like, and I would look. I promise he was 5 and a half, and I was like, I can't. I told her, I was like, I don't think that's right. And then so, and then after that, and I asked her, you sure? I don't know what happened, but I know after that I didn't see it anymore. But I promise you, that boy, he grown. Okay, so we're living there. Okay, so this is going on. Okay, so going back to the tides. And then so Kenny is telling me, yes, excuse me. Kenny is telling me, yes, I understand, and this is your faith, and yeah, and I'm sharing because remember, he's always that type of guy. We loved each other, we really did, and we tried to express it the best way we could. So he about to get me. I didn't think he was this smart. And I don't even think he realized he was this smart, but this is what happened. So remember, I was telling you everything that was going on with church, right? Where we lived, and I'm sharing the word with him, and I'm drinking and I'm living my best life, but I'm telling him what he needs to do and what he should do, but I'm not telling the church. I guess that was his point, but it wasn't in a bad way. I'm trying to uplift him. Okay, so anywho, so that's what he did. He only had 7 minutes. Next thing I knew, where we live, remember where the 5.5-year-old still okay. Next thing I know, remember, oh, let's say her name was Tasha, and oh boy, they got married right away, and come to find out, if I didn't say it, yep, oh, all of a sudden she pregnant, and all of a sudden now they got an apartment right downstairs, right there where we live, and then it's all with the church, and then Kenny is like, he really is, because he's like, oh, why did they just move there? But I wasn't thinking about it at the same time. But it really wasn't him. But in the same sense, he used it. Oh, what is that? He used it against me. He used it against me. I'm so light. Okay, wait. Wait. Okay, one more. I tell you, I don't wear makeup. It looks like okay. Remember when I told you, Primo's that we was smoking crack? I feel like I'm back in that moment. Like, did I do something wrong? Because you smoking crack. You like, wait, can I get another? And I will go a lot more in detail, and I really don't, Matt. But that's where my mind goes, and that's what I'm saying. Yes, I tried these things, and yes, these things happen. But okay, we're only at 9 minutes. Okay, I promise you, I can get right back on track. Mm-mm. So at the church, remember where we lived. And Kenny, he's about to use it against me. So, oh girl, an old dude, they end up being pregnant where they just got married and they shouldn't have been pregnant because the church really preaches like you cannot have premarital sex. And then so this goes back to the okay, I got to bring it all back to you now. I'm telling you guys. So remember the other girl, it's going to get so confusing, but I promise you, Tish, my cousin, I know you get this. So we're going to go back to the other girl. Remember when I told you she has the two kids by two different guys, but she's trying to get her life together, and those guys are not even involved in the church. Okay, so she's there as well. And then so let's go back to okay, so we got Tish. Okay, let's go to curly hair and Eduardo. Remember they got married, right? But all of a sudden they're pregnant too. But I ain't doing no math or nothing. But okay, it's due kind of quickly. But all of these things shouldn't happen. So I bring that all back around to this. Remember old girl, the black girl, the tall, slender girl, and she felt so bad, and she had her two kids by two different guys, and she's trying to figure out her spiritual being. So she starts sharing that she's having sex with different guys she's meeting at the clubs. I'm telling you, because this is Tuesday. Let's just say this is Tuesday, and we're in these groups, and I promise you. So she started. Oh, I'm missing an earring, but that's okay. But she's starting to share. She is me. This is really how it's going. Okay, so she has met a couple of guys at the club, and she stated that she did something and she gave into the temptation, and then she's at the Tuesday sharing with us, and then she said, now I'm in trouble and I'm repenting or whatever, and she's sharing this in the group. I promise you this is what's happened. So it's her, it's Deborah Cash's wife, it's me, it's Curly, the white chick married to Eduardo, and then there's whoever else in her. Okay, so sharing this story, and she's sharing that she gave in to this guy, and they end up she's saying it however she's saying, but they end up having sex, and she's telling us now because she's repenting of it. But before she's telling us, she already told. Remember, old boy and Miss Trough, she already told them, so she has to confess to us. So that's what she's doing now. And she's telling us this whole story, and everybody listening and is quiet. And I'm taking it in. And she said how they knew, and that's why she's confessing now. Amen. Okay. So no one said something, nothing. And then I said, well, how did, I promise you, I said, well, how did, let's say his name was Steve. It was something like that in the woman he was put trust to. You know what I'm talking about, what? Right, but let's say Steve. I said, how did Steve and her, how did they know what happened? She said, it's old girl who got the two kids. Okay. She said, I told them because after I went to the club, I told them that I slipped and I made, and then so she said, so once I told them that my penance or whatever the hell she was saying, I don't know. She said, so now, and this is Tuesday, I need to share, and I'm sharing this with you guys. She answered my question, and I was like, oh, I said, so what made you tell them? I did. I said, so why did you tell them in the first place? I did. She explained everything and I got it. But why did you tell him in the first place? She said, because our belief. Now everybody looking at me because our belief is when you're not upholding, and she's looking at me, and she already got two kids by two different guys, and I seen her, okay, whatever, and she got her confidence, and she realized I'm confused, but she making it very clear to me. She said, because she taught, beautiful girl, or belief is when you do something wrong, you confess to it and you go to the chain of command. And remember, we sitting on the floor, we in the conference room. So I'm sitting here, and as you sharing everything, she ain't standing up, but she kind of on her knees or whatever. And I'm sure that she already, because our belief is, and she telling me like, you supposed to already know this. I'm older than her. That when you do something wrong, you confess it and you go through the chain of commands, and I confess it, and that's what happened. Okay, my bad. So I'm sitting there and she telling me this. I promise. I was like, oh wow. I was like, yeah, yep, I can see that. I said, so promise. I said, so what did they do for you when you told them? And I said, so what happens now? I said that. I said, so you told, so what happens now? And then she looking at me, and it's not like, and truly, if the next thing didn't happen, I don't think it would have been anything but white girl, curly top. She stepped in, and it wasn't. That was just I forgot whatever her name. Not you, cousin, but that was just her demeanor, and we was cool. But I was still like, okay, I'm trying to understand. But this white girl who's married to Eduardo that's already pregnant before, but you don't have sex before, and yeah, they got married, but the baby premature. Let's just say that and leave it there. And then we're dealing with this, and then she interrupted, and then it's like, but it's, it's not that serious. You got what I'm saying, but I promise you. So the next thing, oh girl, Tanya, whatever I said her name is, after that, and we had that, and she expressed, and it was true, and then she expressed that she was going to the club and kind of having sex. I never seen her no more after that. What, Tuesday, I promise, after that Tuesday, didn't see her no more. And then so it was like, okay, and then El Waldo's woman, whatever, and then it was kind of coming to a point to where, okay, we're at 18 minutes. I'm still seeing Cassius at work. All of this is going on, and I'm still seeing Cassius at work. And we're not flirting or whatever. And I'm a CNA. He's still a surgical tech. But however, now he's dating a Filipino girl that works in supply. Okay. So all of this is going on, and I'm not saying anything to him about church, but this Filipino girl, she come approach me. Okay. Hi, Cassius. Well, I would call him Cash. And then, we kind of know each other. And then I'm a CNA, and I have to go and get things through or whatever. But I don't really know who she is at this time. But Cassius is, just us talking and passing, kind of saying, I'm seeing someone and she works here, but I don't care. Me and him it ain't like that. Okay, so I kind of know this, but okay, so this is what happened. So she works in supplies, central supplies. So, okay. Member service staff elevator. Hi, aren't you Kyia or however? And I'm like, yeah, oh yeah. I'm dating Cashes. But I called him Cash or whatever. I was like, oh, okay. And then so we had 20. And then we're gonna go to episode 7. She's like, I'm dating Cash. Cashes. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm thinking Cash or whatever. And then she's like, oh yeah, and you know his wife, and she's not really saying all this, but just to speed things up, I kind of she has established herself that she's dating Cashes. Me and Cassius has never flirted or dated or did anything at this point. At this point, it really is like that Thursday after that Tuesday where I don't see old girl no more who said and did what she did, and she can't control the milkshake, the cookie. She was bold. And it was like, okay, so all this is going on. You guys are caught up, right? If not, I could cut back around and give you another retake. But okay, so that's where we're at. And I kind of respected her boldness in the sense to where she seeked me out and let me know like I'm dating him. Okay, so me and Kenny, we still together. It's that Thursday. Oh God, she let me know. Okay, so let's say that happened. Now she getting really friendly. I don't care. I'm friendly. We good, and whoop de whoop de whoop. And she making more of an effort. Oh, okay, whatever. Whoop de whoop de whoop de whoop. Whenever I see Cash, it's just like, but we're not. Never, never, never. Okay, so time goes on, and then she has established that. So let's say that's 30. So let's say Sunday at church. So I go to church, and then here we are once again. Remember, short white guy, he preaching about tithes, looking right at me like preaching about tithes. Remember, we was talking about tithes, and I'm sitting there, okay, I see you. You really want to go there? So I'm sitting there. And at this point, it is like, remember the lady on the bus, my spirit, and how Christ has been there? Something wrong. Don't make no sense. Okay, whatever. I ain't gonna embarrass you, but okay, yeah, tithes. And I still ain't. I'm like, oh, hell no, is what I'm thinking. Okay, so all of this go on, and then 23. And then so remember the Filipino girl. Her and Cassius are getting really close. So now she wants to invite me to the wedding. There, I guess he proposed or whatever. Me and Cassius are not really talking. So I don't know why she feels the need to rub it in my face or whatever happened. But I think it backfired on her. So she was doing all of this. Okay, so me and Cash is still nothing, but she's coming at me. Okay, so I'm still going to the church, but then now let's say we're at that Sunday. By this time, okay, they crazy. I ain't about you ain't because now they want to see your bank account. They want to see how much that Kenny is making, and why aren't you guys paying tithes? And then by according to what you show us, we're gonna show you, Kyia, what you need to be telling your husband what he needs to be paying in tithes. And I'm like, wait, hold up. I'm married to a black man for one. And I said, I'm black. And I said, I don't know who y'all talking to. And I mean, I didn't say it like this, but it was like, no, that don't make no sense. I was like, who are you? And how are, and I really was. And I was like, no, it really was like that. And from that moment, I don't know exactly what I said, but I made it known like, no, this this is crazy now. I got my own. Okay, anywho. So I never showed up at that church again. And then I shared with Kenny kind of what happened. Okay, so we go on. But that was, okay, literally, that was Sunday. That happened. They wanted the ties, but Kenny had already had into motion. Remember old girl and the guy who was laid back, they got the apartment. I mentioned this earlier. They got the apartment right downstairs, right? So now at this point, I'm sharing with Kenny and I'm kind of sharing how I feel about what happened and letting everything out about how it's going about the ties or whatever. But I'm looking crazy because I'm drinking, but he cool and he know where I'm at. I got that ETOH level and he already knows. And now looking back, I realize he was still kind of feeding into it, but letting me know he on my side, but not because he knew they moved downstairs and I was already kind of tripping off of they want the ties. Now old girl is pregnant and the smooth guy, but they barely married, but they're pregnant. And then the white chick in El Dorado, they said you can't have sex before, but they pregnant also. And then, I mean, I ain't a nurse yet, but I know like it take a certain amount of time before you start showing. And you ain't supposed to have sex and you preaching all this stuff. And then they live it all the way right there. And then Kenny feed into it. And I'm drinking. I never knew he was that smart, but I promise you he orchestrated this. Okay, so this is what happened. Okay, so you got the whole scene. They live there. Okay. So I'm telling Kenny, I was like, yeah, and I can't believe they want your money, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, but something wrong with you. Why are you acting like this? And I'm like, what you mean? Why I'm acting like what? He's like, see, you be drinking too much. I was like, wait, how did we get on this? And then he said, that's why they moved down there. And I kind of remember he pointing that out. And I said, what you mean that they moved down there? And I thought about it, but I kept going. I'm the ETOH levels up. And I was like, what you mean? He's like, okay, whatever. He said, see, they all know you do too much and you drink too much and that's why it's your problem and blah, 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 blah. Then I go down and he points down to the apartment. He's like, look, they live right there. And I follow him out and it's like a 3-story kind of, you gotta kind of see it. And I'm following him out. And then the guy who lived next to us, he looks like Luther Vandross, but he's a gay guy. But back then they weren't really out, but he would make that little 9-layer bead dip and it was always, and he looked out and he seen it and he kind of knew. And then it was all good, but he didn't come out. So I'm going down the stairs. So the next thing, Giddy pointed down. Yeah, that's why they right there. And you look like a fool. And you drink too much in the ass. I'm looking, and I start realizing, wait, they do live. This is what happened. I'm like, they do live right there. Oh, girl, the tall one and the laid back guy, and they pregnant now. And then he walked. And he go back into the apartment and close the door and lock me out. After he said all of that, ETO late level was up here. So now I'm looking down there and I'm worked up. And I'm like, he right. And Luther Vandross guy looking out. And then Kenny, I didn't realize this at the time, but even though I was nice and being me, he was always going behind my back, kind of pumping up. She drink, because everyone knew I kind of drink, but I don't never but I'm just always hyper and me. But he was going behind my back, already setting it all up with Luther Vandross next door, with the couple from the church down, like, I drink too much and watch. Soon as things don't go her way, she going to explode. So he set it all up. So as all that happened, he went back and locked the door. So I'm like, well, wow. Okay, 29 minutes. I'm like, wow, they do live down there. And then I was like, this bullshit, and I knew they were pregnant, blah, blah, blah. And then the ETO level is up here. And I see Luther Vandross guy looking out, but he ain't helping me. He just closed his blind and whatever. And so I'm banging on my window where I live, and I'm saying, Kenny, open the door. And he's like, no, see, that's what's wrong. Something wrong with you. You drink too much and blah, blah, blah. And then bam! And so I broke the windows. So they're looking. Luther Vandross guy, he ain't show back up. No, he ain't showing. He ain't want nothing to show about his whatever his being is. So he don't show up. At this point, when the window breaks, Kenny opened the door. He says, see, I knew you. See, I told him. Okay, we at 30. I'm going to stop you right there. So at this time, he said, I told him. And I'm looking around. And okay, so this is what's happened. So they're downstairs, the couple from church, and the police are coming up. Because while he was in there before I broke the glass, he had already called the police. You ready for what happened next? He called the police. So I'm looking around and he set all this up. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. You got to come back and I'm about to tell you what happened. Thank God I didn't go back to jail, but some shit happened. Come back, my real life according to who? Oh, that's too much. My real life according to just just too much. Okay, anyway, come back again. Thank you. I'm having so much fun. I hope you are. And my real life, according to Just Kyia, Jusskya. This is season 3, episode 6. 7, right now. Come back.